Guys, what is happening, YouTubers? This is Sucker for Jessica back again, bringing you the coolest battles of yesterday and today. And today I have a RU match. I've really played that tier, but you know, I made it to a new team. I want to test it out. Let's see what we come up with. My opponent's going to start things off the yearn Mega, right? Immediately go for the Protect. This is a custom set Weezing that I actually made. It has Substitute, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, and Thunderbolt. So my ideology here is why I went for the Substitute, predicting the Protect, right? I'm just going to probably try to sub down, go for the Pain Split when I have a little bit amount of HP left, and then go for the Thunderbolt to finish off the yearn Mega, right? So hopefully he may or may not see it, and it's also a good scout to see if he happens to be carrying the Life Orb, so I can actually skip the process of having to go for the Pain Split and finish off the yearn Mega with the Thunderbolt, but he's not. Maybe he's Focus Sash, so I'm just gonna keep going down, subbing down, subbing down, subbing down. I think he sees through my strategy, goes straight for the Miltank. I think it's probably an opportunity that he could probably set up too, or maybe he could, you know, set up something, set up Stealth Rock, or if he happens to be a Cursor, set up Curses, and he does happen to be a Cursor, so I'm thinking like even if I do inflict a burn on it with Will-O-Wisp, he is gonna pack the heal bell. So with that said, I'm thinking that he also has Scrappy as opposed to having Thick Fat, because those sets usually carry something to deal with status like heal bell, and then a recovery move like if it doesn't carry Rest, it will carry heal bell and Milk Drink until it's fully set up with curses. So I'm just going to test that theory, see what kind of set he's actually running. If he continues to curse up, then he's Resto, Chesto, or Resto Leftovers actually. And if he just doesn't, if he goes straight for the heal bell immediately, which he does this turn, then he's heal bell and Milk Drink. So it's actually pretty good in the sense that he happens to be Milk Drink as opposed to the Resto Chesto set that I just said, because I do have more power points with my Will-O-Wisp. So he only gets 5 to 8 chances to heal himself the burn. So after I hit more than 8 Will-O-Wisp, his Miltank will be inflicted with the burn forever. So that would be actually pretty great, hence why I'm staying in. Plus 2 body slam isn't going to be enough to break the sub. I am max defense and max HP, so I think that change that I just recently did, because recently this Weezing wasn't necessarily all defensive. It had some special defensive investments, but I think it was worth the change. I actually think I have to say that ever since I changed it from HP to you know, HP defense and special defense to just straight up HP and defense, it's really been working well. It's really been doing its job. So in comes the Configurus, right? And I burn it with the Will-O-Wisp just to get residual damage in. He goes for the Calm Mind, gets the Shadow Ball. That's enough to break the Substitute, obviously, especially after the body slam. It's no question. So it would have broke it without the added damage with the body slam that Miltank did a few turns back. So I think I might go for the sub or switch out. I think I was going to debate switching out because I might need Weezing for later on to take hits from Miltank and other things I noticed on this team. So he's going to go for another Calm Mind here. I bring in Clefable because even if he does have the hidden power of fighting, I am a Wish Protect, and I actually am carrying the Shadow Ball, because a lot of people like to switch in Ghosts to Clefable to, you know, just try to wall it or whatever, especially if it, you know, probably go for Miss Magus or something like that, because the only thing common Clefables have nowadays to deal with things like Ghosts is like Toxic, and once you set a Substitute, it's like completely walls Clefable. So in comes the Sceptile, right, and I'm figuring that he might probably go for a special oriented move, hence why I went for the Wish, and then went back out into Weezing just to scout to see what kind of Sceptile it is. It happens to be physical, so that's actually pretty great because I'm actually able to inflict a burn on acrobatic attack with the added power from the flying gem, which is not too good because you saw, and that's a Weezing, ladies and gentlemen. So imagine if that was something else, like something frail, I would have got destroyed. So in comes my Clefable, right? I'm thinking like maybe I could go for the Protect or something like that, thinking that he will probably go for the initial attack, not thinking that he will immediately go for the +6. I thought maybe like +4 or something like that. He hasn't necessarily seen me do Shadow Ball, so I'm thinking that he might think that I have the Flamethrower. So that's what I predicted for him to go for the attack right away, and I went for the Protect just to rack up residual damage. I didn't expect him to actually go for another Sword Stance. So I go for the Shadow Ball now. I revealed that I have Shadow Ball. I'm just going to go for the Protect to try to rack up residual damage here. It's almost dead, and I have to actually hope for a triple Protect in order for me to be able to reserve my Clefable for later on. I have to actually hope for the double Protect so that something else can come in later on, and you know, probably go for the last attack or something like that. Maybe I could just like psych him out a little bit, but keep in mind this is still a +6 Sceptile, so even though it's burned, it's still hitting my my Pokemon pretty hard. So fortunately for me, I do get the double protect, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to keep my Clefable because I don't get the triple protect, which is only a I think a 25% probability that I'll be able to get that. So out comes my Clefable and out goes Sceptile. So that's actually a double down. It's actually pretty good here. In comes what is this thing called Cacturn, and in comes my Sceptile. I have a Sceptile on my own, and I do have Acrobatics also. I just didn't want to risk missing the speed type because Sceptile does happen to be a great Pokemon to have on my team. Here's the part where I actually wishing that I put Focus Punch on my Sceptile, and I'm like, wow, I completely I'm thinking, why do I have Rock Slide and Earthquake if I'm carrying the Acrobatics? I could cover my other weaknesses with Focus Punch, or probably get rid of Earthquake and put Focus Punch instead. So I'm thinking like Earthquakes hit steals, but I completely didn't even think about having the Focus Punch as opposed to having the Earthquake. So now, after seeing how much the added power Acrobatics does to Miltank, as well as a potential secondary Acrobatics to follow through, I know it's not going to be enough to finish off the Miltank. I take the time, and even though I'm behind the sub, switch out into Glide on the Milk Drink, and on the predicted switch out into a Ghost type, I am having to be choice banded. My Psycho Cut is going to be enough to hit KO the Confagoras, and luckily, since I guess Psycho Cut is more of like a projectile kind of physical move, I'm not going to inherit its mummy ability, so that's actually pretty great that I'm able to still retain my ability, which is Steadfast here. I'm not actually pretty sure if Justify came out yet for the for Galad, hence why I didn't use it. I really wanted to use it, but I wasn't quite sure, so I just stuck with Steadfast. I didn't actually expect to outspeed the Yamega. I actually expected to get hit with the Air Slash, since I know that he's not Life Orb. I know I can survive it, and then inflict a choice banded Psycho Cut here. But here I have a theory. I'm thinking, like, since he does happen to be defensive, my Yuxi does happen to be timid, and it's Choice Scarf at that. So even though Yamega did get +2, Choice Scarf max speed Yuxi is going to be enough to outspeed and take it out with the Thunderbolt. So in comes Cacturn. I'm locked onto Thunderbolt. I can't necessarily do all too much to it. I'm going to make a quick switch out to Weezing in an attempt to try to wall that Cacturn that he has out on the field, but unfortunately for me, on the switch out into Weezing, he does set up a substitute. So now, being that my only offensive move happens to be Thunderbolt on this Weezing, Thunderbolt would happen to 2-hit KO's Cacturn's substitute. So behind the substitute, he gets up for Swords Dance, so I'm thinking like he might probably try to take the chance now, being that Cacturn does have a speed to go for the Sucker Punch. So now I'm just going to go for the substitute, predicting that. That's one Sucker Punch down. That's interesting. So I'm just counting how many Sucker Punches he has left over, because that's the main threat that he has now. I definitely do have to eventually break the substitute. So he goes to the secondary Sucker Punch, which unfortunately for me does break my substitute, but then again he's +2, so what do you expect? So now I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt to try to break his substitute. That crit didn't even matter, as you guys would see later on. Actually, we're actually going to be in the same situation a little bit further on in this video, but that crit, the second critical hit with the Thunderbolt, does take out the substitute, and now he goes to the secondary substitute, but not before I burn it with the Will-O-Wisp. So I'm feeling pretty good here. I still have my Weezing out in place. All I have to do is probably try to outpredict when he will go for the Sucker Punch, so that I don't necessarily do an offensive move onto it. My only offensive move, by the way, is Thunderbolt. So I know Thunderbolt does 2-hit KO the sub. So now he goes for another Swords Dance. He's behind the sub again, and I'm like, okay, you know, even though he is burned, don't underestimate that, because that still has a high attack, being that, you know, he still gets sub from it. It is 80 base after all. I'm talking about the move Sucker Punch itself. And I'm just going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to go for the Sucker Punch now, which he does. And I'm just trying to fake him out and trying to waste his power points, right? I go for the Thunderbolt now, thinking that he won't necessarily go for a Sucker Punch. He goes for the C-Bomb, thinking that, you know, I did go for the Will-O-Wisp twice, 2 times in a row. So it looks like I'm trying to waste his Sucker Punch power points, which I actually pretty much am, but I'm just cautious, and I'm actually sitting down here with pen and paper writing down my moves, and you know, just I don't want to go for random moves or whatever because I'm kind of distracted too by somebody's talking to me or whatever. But then I'm also trying to count how many turns and how many stuff he has left. So he goes for the C-Bomb. As I'm exposed, I don't have my substitute anymore. I do have, it is burned. I can't go for the offensive move, but then again, I know he's going to Sucker Punch now, thinking I won't have enough HP to make another sub, so I'm just going to Pain Split, which he's right about that. But now that I see that my HP is back up in the hundreds, I know definitely for sure I'm going to be able to make another substitute. So that's exactly what I do. He goes for another Sucker Punch. I go for the substitute, which is great, and now I can finish this thing off with the Thunderbolt. But I'm thinking, like, you know something, this guy has he has Miltank and he has something else left, something I can't remember, but I know something else that's weak against Armor He has Armor and Miltank left over. So I'm thinking, like, you know something, maybe I don't want to go for the offensive move just yet. I could probably go keep my substitute up for the next Pokemon, especially Armor, just in case he wants to get off a Shell Smash or whatever. I'll be behind the substitute while I inflict 2 Thunderbolts onto that thing instead of 1. So that's what my thinking was there. I'm gonna take the switch out actually after he breaks the substitute with my Weezing with his C-Bomb, right? He goes to the Sucker Punch on the switch, and I actually decided to go for the offensive move on Yuxi just because I thought he might predict me to switch out again to try to waste his Sucker Punches or whatever. Hence him going for the C-Bomb. I know me personally, I would have went for the C-Bomb there because it's like me switching out in and out and in and out would prove Sucker Punch's you know, invaluability, if that's such a word or whatever like that, in the game, being that it won't necessarily do anything to my Pokemon once I just keep consecutively switching out, which is what I'm trying to say. He brings it Armor. It's funny because in the chat he's like, alright, I have no choice to go for the Aqua Jet. So in my mind I'm like, yes, thanks for the confirmation, I did win. So if he would have actually, you know, I'm like, I knew he Shell Smash, so he tried to fake me out, it didn't work, and Armor and Miltank bite the dust. So that was definitely a great game. Viewers, I definitely had a lot of fun, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Peace. What you doing?